Welcome back to the podcast. This portal is going to be a little bit different. I have a little passage to read you from one of my mermaid books, and the portal is going to be the portal through Dare to be Bare. And this is a little section of, if you're watching this in video, it's a really beautiful book. This is what it looks like. And it's called A Survival Guide for Landlocked Mermaids by Margot Datz. And I found this when I was actually in, where was I? I was in Sedona. It was after the retreat. I was visiting my friend Mimi and my other friend Winnie. We were like going through shops, and it was a, what's it called? Like a gallery. It was like a huge gallery. And this little tiny book was just like laying there. And it's usually not something that like I would pick up or even think to buy, because I'm always about like thicker books and just like studying things. And I usually don't buy a lot of like quote unquote like fun reads, which I've been getting better at that. But anyways, I decided to pick this up, and I think it's really resonant for something that I'm going to be putting out here. And it reminds me of the thought and feeling of like putting your creations out there, if it's like a artwork, or if it's like your own podcast or something that you're creating, something that you're doing different, something that you're like sharing with others. Maybe you are just sharing it to share, or you want to share it to be paid for it. Maybe you're making a career change like me. And it has the feeling of dare to be bare. And like when we share these things that like are from like our innermost confines of our heart, of like our creativeness, it feels very, it feels like you're being exposed. It feels like you're exposing yourself, like you're going out somewhere nude, because you're just like, oh my God, I'm going out there with my stuff. Like I'm really sharing what I think and what I feel, and I'm going after something that I want. And I really want this, and I feel really bare. And that's okay. So the little passage, the little tagline is, she tried very hard to fit in. So the only way you can be a mermaid is if you be your true self, which means you've got to dare to be bare. That is, to bare your heart and soul, head up, chest out, tail fanned. It's not easy being yourself because it can invite envy and attention. But if you hide your authentic self from the rest of the world, a unique life will pass you by. There is a splendor in being your true self. Another perk, you draw your own kind to you. Suddenly, you are not the only mermaid in the sea. So this is the other little picture, if you can see it. Which is just, there's so many fucking lessons in this book, and each page is like a picture of the mermaid and like a little passage. So, maybe there'll be other podcast episodes related to this book, but this one feels very important to talk about, dare to be bare. And it just relates to like reasons why we stop ourselves, or why we like, think that our ideas or inspirations like is not as good, or we we minimize like what we want to do, and we minimize like the impact that it could possibly make on one other person, or even the world, or the energy of the world. And like it said, like if you decide not to be yourself, then you rob yourself from like this really cool life, and also this maybe really cool group of people that like are also mermaids. Like maybe you're a mermaid and you've been with all of these otters, and then you start to be like, wait, no, I'm a mermaid. Then like you attract the mermaids. Like I'm not saying either or worse, or better or worse, but like you get the idea. When we do share our authentic selves, and we do start to say like, oh, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I believe in, this is how I'm going to dress, this is how I feel, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go. And then you have like these collective, like you have a swarm of people that are like, wait, me too. And this has happened very directly in my life when like I started traveling, and like I started traveling being like, yep, quit my job, moved, don't know what I want to do. I want to experience. I want to go experience cultures. I'm just interested in a lot of things. I don't know what's next. And then I, met all these incredible people along my path that were in the same fucking situation, doing the same thing. And I thought I was the crazy one, like leaving my country, leaving my friends and family for like trying to go out and experience and like explore. And I was met with so many people that were doing the same thing. And even the same, even now, like as I had gotten back, and am on this other journey of like, hey, I want to create stuff. I want to podcast. I want to be my own like creator. I want to share things with people. I want to inspire. I want to inspire myself while trying to inspire other people and just share my art, share my voice. Then I have been met with friends and people and acquaintances that want to do the same thing, that like are excited about the same thing, that like cheer that on and be like, wow, that's really fucking cool. Like I'm trying to do the same thing instead of like shit on it. So that's where it's like dare to be bare. And I think this whole aspect of this, I think it's kind of just like a story that's just out in the ether, energetically, and just we feel like we're going to be met. And I think this is also like part of the reasons why like we are being kind of shut down, and we do stop ourselves because there's this energetic imprint out there that stops us from doing that, and there's these agendas that stop that. There's a fear-based mentality where it's in the collective brain where it's like, no, if you do that, if you expose yourself, you'll be met with, turmoil and shame, and people won't get you, and you're going to lose friends and family and all this kind of stuff, which, granted, if that happens, then they're not in alignment at the end of the day. It's not that scary because then you'll be met with swarms of other people that are more matched with you, and then they'll find more people that are matched with them. It's not like, oh, if you lose somebody, like you're going to be alone and they're going to be alone. Like, no, like you're both going to find better people or like more aligned people. So it says dare to be bare in what you're sharing with the world, what you're creating, what you're allowing yourself to dream up and be a part of. And even when you're in community with people, like you're meeting somebody new, you're in a new group, you moved somewhere, or even in your own current friend group, like dare to be bare with how you feel, speaking up, speaking your truth, being authentic, dressing how you want, I think is super, super important. And one of the guides that I'm building a guide right now that is going to, it's going to be audio. There's going to be an audio version and also a written like PDF version that I'm going to be releasing, that it'll just be like, if you sign up on the mailing list, you'll get it for free. It's kind of like one of those things that is it's just a gift from me to you. So either you can listen to it like a podcast, or you can read it within your hands. And it's a guide to basically inner light this spark, like to jolt your soul again and be like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. Like, oh yeah, like I am here to discover like the world around me and myself. And I'm here to discover, who am I in relation to everything and nothing? Like, it's that question that we're all really here to explore. And we don't really think about ourselves enough in a way where it's just like, I'm exploring myself. We think that like we know ourselves, and I'm this, and this, like I do for work. This is my family. These are my kids. These are my activities that I do. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm bad at. This is my set mold I have created. And it's absolutely just like not it. That's not it. Like we're here to like try those on, and like we're here to like try that on as like this persona to see like, ooh, how does that feel? How does this one feel? How does this one feel? And it's really not to like put ourselves in boxes. And being in a box doesn't necessarily, like, we always think that's like a bad thing. Like, oh, think outside of the box, or like, don't put me in a box. And I think it also is very effective and very useful to have boxes to experiment with, to be like, okay, I'm going to be in this box and see how that feels. Okay, yeah, that's could be part of me, or this is part of me. This box is also me too. So it's not that it's like it has to define you and this is all you are. It's like, whoa, it's defining you, and like you are all of these options, and you get to kind of pick and choose like what you want to experiment with. And there's a few reasons that I'm going to list in the guide of why we go down this path. And really, it's like the path can come from anything. Anything can be a catalyst, or nothing can be a catalyst. But there is something innately within our soul self that is in search of this discovery. It's like how we want to go to a new place, try a new food, try a new place, try a new outfit on, change our hair. There's some level of discovery that we crave. And sometimes the level of discovery is a lot like in quieter or like lower tones. And some people's discovery are a lot bolder and brighter. But either way, you're having these levels of discovery that uh, you get to journey on within your life. And with intention, you can be on a huge self-discovery wave and just ride that out and really just amplify what you are going through, like that, what your discovery is. So I think it's important to realize that there's several different things that will lead us to this point, or to even realize that we're actually in journey to our own self-discovery. And it's outside of religion, it's outside of culture, it's outside of any kind of construct that our brain has tried to make sense of the world. And it is purely on a soul level of discovering soul self, what is this soul? Like, what is this body? What is this? Like, why am I here? It's this discovery within. Nobody really has the answers. You have the answers to yourself. You can look towards other ideas that might have suggestions, or might have lenses they can view of, like, oh, this is your purpose, or this is why you're here. These are the reasons why you reincarnated from these other lifetimes, or from these other situations. Like, you're here to embrace this. You're here to learn this. And yes, that could be all true. That is all true. There are all those answers that you can find from readers or energetics, or even in your soul. You can journey into your own higher self, all that kind of stuff. But there is that, yes, that gives a lot of context to what's going on, maybe in your day-to-day life. But also, there is a huge path that is unrelated to any of that. And that is simply letting yourself discover yourself right now. So there's a couple things a couple reasons why you might be curious about that, or on this path. The first one, there's 5 I'm going to review. The first one is curiosity. You're just curious of, like, what's going to be up. Like, the curiosity just is your primary driver of everything. You want to know things. You want to go there because you're just curious. You want to talk to the person because you're curious. Like, you're curious of, like, why do I do the things that I do? Or, like, why am I thinking? Where are those beliefs at? Like, your curiosity just, like, runs your life. And you're just like, maybe it hasn't ruined your life. Maybe it's something that just, like, turned on. You're like, whoa, I'm actually really fascinated about this aspect, or this part of myself, or, like, why do I do this? And the curiosity is like that whole saying, curiosity killed the cat. And I think that's so fucked up, because it is something that we should be embracing. Like, when kids ask, like, why this, why that? And a lot of the times, like, I think that message has been spread across just because, like, as adults, you don't want to tell the kid or anybody else that, like, you don't have the answer. And it's okay not to have the answer. Like, it's okay not to know. That's most of the questions that we have, we don't have answers for. But I think that's where that comes from. Second is hope. You feel like there is some sort of saving that is going to be happening along this self-discovery path. You feel, like, very hopeful in some way that, like, the thing that you're about to do will, like, have some sort of meaning or make more sense, or you'll have more hope day to day of, like, why the things are happening. Maybe a huge, maybe you had a life, or, like, a family member just pass, or your dog pass, or, like, there is this sense of, like, I hope this will save me from this, or I hope this will reignite this in me, or I hope that this will be a solution of these pains that I have been feeling, which also kind of leads into the fourth thing, is despair. And hope and despair can be very, like, side by side, like twinny kind of vibes, because like hope and despair, like you can feel very in despair and then hope will be there. And then when hope goes away, then despair's there. So it's kind of this kind of tandem. So despair, like maybe you're feeling that like life is really heavy right now. You have loss of motivation, loss of zest, loss of a spark. And you feel like maybe going down this self-discovery path will help like wake me alive again and give you hope. So it's this tandem that happens between these two things, that maybe this guide, and this is these 5 things are in relation to reasons why we go on a self-discovery journey and reasons why maybe you'll download this guide. Maybe these are things that you're thinking this guide will give you, or what I'm going to be offering through self-discovery will provide for you. And that's okay. Like we have expectations and we have wants and needs for something. Like when we download something, when we sign up for a course, when we work with a person, when we go to a place or a retreat, like we have a level of expectation or desire or reasons of what we want to get out of that. Like why are we doing those things? We're hoping there's going to be some sort of exchange that will at least possibly solve one of these solutions that you're in. Maybe you're curious, maybe you want hope, maybe you are feeling despair. Oh, I skipped one. Change. So the 4th one is change. You think that like something is going to change you. Like you need a catalyst to have change. And I think yes and no. A lot of times when we are going through something, it's important to be like, okay, I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going to get this tattoo. I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to sell all my clothes. Like you need a catalyst to like move the energy to change. And you're like, I really want to fucking change. I want to be something else, somebody else. I want to be this instead of this. Like I'm tired of this. So I'm going to change this to try to get that. And yes, really powerful tool to do those things, but also no, because you can change internally very fast too without anything. So you want some level of change in your life from this or from a personal self-discovery journey. And the last thing is a deepening. So we have curiosity, hope, despair, change, and the last thing is deepening. You want to go deeper with yourself. You want to go basically so far into yourself that you want to understand things. Like you want to dive deep into your soul and just be like, this is what it is. You want to pull it out. And like, I have this description of like why I've done a lot of things is that like, I think the huge motivator, and I think it's important to like know what your motivator is and to know why you do things is just important because it's just another layer of discovering yourself. You're like, why do I do the things that I do? Like, am I making, and like, are those decisions also based on these things? Like, am I making all my decisions based on despair, based on hoping that it will save me, based on being curious, or based on change? Like, I'm always like going after change. But the last thing is deepening, which I think is it's definitely one of the top reasons why I do many things is a deepening. Like I want to deepen my understanding of myself, of my grit. Like this is why I ran like ultra marathon and like running. Like I wanted to go so far down in despair of just in despair. I wanted to go so far down to myself and just like pull myself up and like you have to do it. And I wanted to see what I was made out of. Like it's like this deepening of like I wrote down, you want to completely unleash the inner alien weirdo and just like fucking Hulk it out. It's like you just want to just like just pull your heart out and just be like, that's what I am. You know, it's like that like triumph, rocky kind of vibe where it's just like, this is what I'm made out of. So these are like 5 reasons that I think that are very huge in decisions that we make, and very huge reasons and motivators of people wanting to go down this self-discovery journey. And you might be like, I don't even know what that means. I wish you keep saying a self-discovery journey. And it's literally just being able to learn about yourself, to understand yourself, and to get deeper with yourself. It's a journey that how are you experiencing yourself through the world? Like, what is you and the outer world giving back to you? What is this relation that you are in? And it's very important to understand, because no matter if you try not to think about it, like no matter what, you're on this journey no matter what. Like, you are here. You're interacting with yourself every day and the outside world every day. So when you better understand what your relation to that is, and you get to be more playful with this discovery of what that is wanting to unfold for you, just the better things get. You can put the blinders on and be like, nope, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I do. Work, eat, sleep, da 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 da. Like, you can do that. But you will still be a being experiencing yourself and experiencing yourself with the outside world. So it's like being able to better understand that journey and amplify that journey, and better like just know how to like enjoy that journey, is just gonna be more additive for your life. It's gonna offer more to yourself. So whether or not you're curious, you're hopeful, you want change, you want a deepening, or you are in despair, you will get something out of this guide, long story short, and out of your own personal self-discovery journey. And I talk about this a lot in the podcast, on certain YouTube videos. I've got a section of self-discovery. And then later in the summer, I'll be releasing a course of this to really be able to like have this catalyst for yourself, and to really understand like what this journey is and what it's here to provide for you. But until then, soon, once this comes out, I'm sure you will be able to go on my website, and you'll see a free guide that will be there. You can enter in your email, pop your email in, and boom, it'll be in your email inbox. So if you are already a subscriber to my newsletter, I will already be sending this out to all the newsletters that you are already subscribed to. So you don't have to double dip. Only if you want. You can re-sign up for it if you want. But yeah, this is the journey, whether we are on it. And since we're on it, we might as well embrace it and have fun with it and explore it. So dare to be bear moving forward. And until then, I will see you in the next episode.